After 2 years of living and traveling in our self-converted Sprinter van, we decided to settle down and start a family. Now we build out custom van conversions for clients here out of our custom crafted van shop in Boise, Idaho. On the van build series, we're converting a 2019 159 Extended Promaster for our clients Michele and David. On this week's episode, we're waterproofing the bathroom and showing you how we do tile and grout. We know who you guys are really here for. This guy. He just turned 7 weeks. I can't believe it's almost been 2 months.
7 weeks and like 12 pounds of just awesomeness, Mom.
Yeah.
Bambi's obviously very upset that we don't talk about her more. Bam, you guarding the shop? Bam, come here. Come here. Hi. Do you want to be on camera? Yeah, you want to be in focus? Oh, there you go. Yeah. Oh.
Whoa.
Old lady choking.
Terrible.
You okay?
Nug.
Hey, Nug is obviously guarding the shop. If you just missed our last video, go check it out. We just finished the plumbing install in this van, but now we're moving on to putting up the foam backer board in the bathroom, and we're going to be tiling the bathroom this week with white subway tile. This is the bathroom as it is right now. This is the square shower pan that we have already installed. I've already set this shower pan. And then what you can see, this 3M flashing tape, I've gone all the way around the shower pan, and I have also put down a 3/4 inch plywood frame on top of a 2x4 support that I had placed underneath that I ran some plumbing through. The 3/4 inch Baltic birch plywood is the strength for this kind of step that we're going to be putting the Nature's Head composting toilet on. I have already installed a couple pieces of this Kerdi board, foam backer board that is waterproof and really easy to use, much better for building in a van and doing tile than something like Hardy board.
Alex is finishing up putting the foam board in here.
Almost done.
And then we are gonna red guard and waterproof this thing.
We are using steel studs. I am using self-tapping drywall screws to put this up.
Yeah. We're gonna show you how we go over all of this with some red guard tape and red guard to waterproof this thing before we start tiling. We're doing the tile a lot earlier than we normally do because, as you can see, we don't have their kitchen cabinet in here yet. We do have it built, but we don't want to install it until we do the bathroom, just so we don't have to kind of like maneuver around that.
I'm not gonna be quiet, sorry. I'm making noise.
It's okay. You know, we still got to get work done, so you just got to deal with the noise in the background. So I feel like we've talked about the foam backer board probably a million times, but if you're new around here, we use foam backer board for our bathroom so that it's nice and lightweight. I will grab a piece so you guys can see. There's quite a few different products out there that make similar things. There's like a Wedi board. This is which one? What is this?
Kerdi board.
Kerdi board. There's a Hydro band board. They're all basically the same thing. So instead of having kind of like a cement type product like Hardy board.
The difference is going to be in some of the composition. The Wedi board has a little bit of cement on the outside, so it's like a cement board with foam in the inside. The Wedi board has fiberglass in it, so when you cut that and it gets on your arms, it's really kind of a pain. So Kerdi board, the one we're using now, is actually my preferred brand.
That or Hydro band.
Hydro band board, that was also really nice too, yeah. Right? That I think did have also fiberglass in it.
Oh, but so this one's your favorite?
Does not have fiberglass. This one is
the Kerdi board.
Yep.
So like I was saying, instead of being like a cement like Hardy board that's super heavy that is usually put in houses, this is literally just like foam, styrofoam in the middle, and it is still waterproof. So super lightweight. This is always what we use, and that's why we can do tile, because we're not putting a bunch of weight in there with Hardy board. We're using this. We would never use Hardy board and tile. That would just be like way too much weight. So like Alex said, this is the Kerdi board. And you can get this usually at like a specialty tile shop, like Doll Tile. Find a local Doll Tile by you and let them know that you're looking for a foam backer board and throw out some of these names. Kerdi board, Hydroband board.
I'm done.
All of that stuff, and they should know exactly what you're talking about. And if they don't have it, they should be able to order it for you. So, highly recommend that if you're gonna do a shower in a van. Is it red guard time?
It is red guard time, take it away.
That means it's my job. Baby's sleeping, it's perfect time for mommy to work, so better get to work. So as you can see behind me, I went ahead and taped off the shower pan with some plastic, some painter's plastic, and went around the edge of it to make sure that I'm not gonna get their shower pan dirty. Prep always helps when doing this stuff, so set yourself up for success so you don't have a bunch of cleanup to do later. We've definitely made that mistake before in the past. I'm gonna show you guys what I'm using for waterproofing the bathroom. So here is the red guard. You can buy this at Home Depot. It's a waterproof membrane, so it's actually, I'll open it up in a minute. It's like bright pink when it's wet, and it dries red. So that's how you know when it's dry. And then I'm also using the red guard seam tape. It's not actually tape though, so I'm gonna show you guys that in a minute. And then you're gonna need a throwaway brush, and I like to use a roller. It just makes it go on a lot faster. So it helps to have a paint tray and just get a little insert. Again, makes cleanup so much easier. Also, if you're a female, you may wanna consider having a strong male partner come open this for you because it is pretty difficult. So I always ask my man to open it for me.
It's gonna look so cool when it's open. Get ready for it.
Here it comes. Oh yeah, bright pink, look at that.
Phew. Oh God, the odor.
Yeah, it is also very smelly, so wearing a respirator definitely helps when you're in a very small space.
Time for another episode of Getting Handy with Sarah.
So obviously I'm not wearing a respirator because I have to be able to talk to you guys, but I am gonna put one on once we're done filming. Just wanted to say that, otherwise you wouldn't be able to hear me. So,
where'd she go? Oh, there she is.
Like I said, this isn't really tape. It's kind of like a cloth. And what we're gonna do with this is fill all of the cracks that are in the foam backer board, because you obviously can't get it one sheet to cover the whole thing. So there's cracks in the corners and just little cracks where there's
We
gaps.
like to call those seams, but
same thing, cracks, seams, whatever. This is a seam tape, so yes, we are gonna cover the seams, the corners, all that cracks and stuff. So the technique here, because this isn't actually tape and it's literally just cloth, is you get your throwaway brush with some red guard on it. You're gonna paint on where the crack is, the gap, the seam, whatever you wanna call it, all the way across, put it on really thick, and then you're gonna stick this to it and then come back and paint over the top of that. So I'll show you guys what that looks like in a little bit, because I'm gonna get to work now. Turn that thing off. Oh, it gets hot and sweaty in there. Whew, that feels good. Okay, let me wipe the sweat off my face. Wanted to give you guys a little progress update, show you guys what it's looking like. So as you can see, I've started to get all the corners here and over here. So I'm just doing the corners and, like we talked about, the seams where there's a gap in between the two pieces of foam. And it doesn't have to be perfect because we're gonna come back and put a whole nother layer on the entire thing. Also, random side note, I will leave a link for this respirator down below. We love this thing, got it on Amazon, works really, really well. Highly recommend it for any van build. I've been sweating, it's hot. Seriously, wearing that respirator makes you sweat. Got all the corners done. As you can see, where I started, it's very red, and where I just finished, it's super pink. So now that a lot of it has dried, I'm gonna start in the places that I started first and go ahead and roll over that and do kind of a full coat over the entire bathroom. So that's where the roller comes in. I ended up using just about 2 of those red guard seam tape packages. I had to open the 3rd for like just a little bit. So it really just depends on how big your bathroom is. But here we go. You guys ready for this? Turn around this camera. So then we got our nice paint tray here. And again, I'm gonna start where it was, and we're gonna start rolling on this all over the place. You want to put it on nice and thick, so you know you can really goop up that roller and get this on. It's hard to film and do this at the same time, but you guys get the point. Oh, hot, sweaty mess. Round 2, sitting on the floor, so just finished. And there it is. There's the crazy bright pink bathroom. And this is why you put down plastic and tape off the shower pan so it doesn't get all that all over it. So there it is, folks. It's tiling day. Alex is getting set up out here. Woo! We have our own tile saw. We've got all the tile, and we're gonna start doing this. We've showed before what we use, but I'll show it again because if you're new around here, you might not know. So we just use the pre-mixed mortar. We've used this now 2 different times. This will be the 3rd. This definitely works really well. We got it in the gray this time because we're doing gray grout. This tile is gonna be on the floor where the nature's head is gonna be, and then we are just doing white subway tile. So there's the white subway tile. And then these we always use for the edge of the toilet seat, or in this case, it's gonna be the edge of the floor by the shower pan. But we also have all this fun stuff. So you're gonna need one of these for grouting. Got quite a few of those. Whoop. Microfiber for cleaning off the grout at the end. Dropping everything everywhere. And then you're gonna need a float. So we got a couple different ones.
By the way, I had this one.
Oh, you already had that one? I think I bought that. I also bought that, yeah. You're gonna need one of these trowels for your mortar. Our camera's not focusing, but you get the point. And we got another float, different kind. So we like to spice it up. Yeah, coffee. Definitely coffee. And here is the grout that we're using. So this is platinum is what they call it. It's a light gray. Very pretty. Looks great with the white subway tile. We've done it 2 other times. And last but not least, some tile spacers. Here's what the bathroom looks like. We didn't show you guys all the bright redness. Woo! Look at that. So there's the bowl nose that we're using on the edge there. And let's get this party started. Little progress update on the tile. Alex is working away in there. It's looking really good.
Day 2.
Give you guys a little sneak peek. It's looking real nice. We did a different tile, like I said, down there, which looks really good. Don't mind Alex's dad socks. Those ones aren't so bad, babe.
These are no fancy stance.
Got any tiling tips for the people?
Yeah, don't do it.
I knew you were gonna say that. It is a lot of work. We might be a little crazy.
My tip would be, go slow.
Yeah, don't rush it. Plan on a week if you're gonna do tile, because it takes about 2 or 3 days to tile the whole thing, and then another day to grout. So like I said, we actually like getting them in the sheets because if one tile, say, were to, you know, shake loose from the vibrations, it's connected to the tiles next to it. Let me get the paper off.
Oh, here's a real tip.
So it won't fall off the wall.
Real tip. Make all of your cuts on the sheets. Don't cut out individual tiles and try to cut individual
Which
tiles
we did
to
before.
Make your angles, yes.
If you've watched our old video.
So we bought a tile saw from Home Depot, which is what I'm about to use here. If you don't own a tile saw, you can rent them.
But rent it for like 2 or 3 days.
Yes, tiling for us is a 3-day project. So I would highly recommend, if you're gonna do this, to rent a tile saw for a few days, or buy a tile saw if you're like, oh, there's other projects I would use it for. Because it makes a huge difference as far as the way the overall finish looks and just how quickly you can get it done and not like drive yourself crazy cutting all these little tiles.
So like Alex said, it's a lot easier to cut the tile in the full sheet and run that through your tile saw versus if you watch one of our old videos when we were doing our van conversion, our second van conversion, we actually cut individual tiles and it was like over 200 cuts or something ridiculous, and it took so long. And the reason why we did that is because we were renting a tile saw, so we only had one day to make all the cuts, so we thought we'd put all the full sheets up that we could, and then the ones we needed to cut, we actually took out individual tiles and like numbered them. It was ridiculous.
It was not faster.
No, this does a way better job, and he got it super tight and clean because he cut them full sheets. So that's the tip if you're gonna do it. So Alex did such a good job of getting this nice and tight. As you can see, there's a little bit of a mismatch. The reason being is that this wall, back wall, is curved, so the tiles kind of go on an angle. So as you can see at the bottom, we were lined up, but as you go up, it definitely starts to mismatch, but there's really nothing you can do about that. It still looks pretty good. Getting ready to grout. Alex got all the tile done yesterday. So I love this scrubbing sponge. This one's my favorite because grout can get a little messy. So I'm gonna show you guys how I do this. And then a microfiber towel just helps kind of get some of that grout haze off once you get the grout on. Now my tip for grouting is that you want to work in small sections and clean as you go, and don't let the grout get too dry, because then you're gonna have such a mess to clean up. So I'll show you guys what I'm doing, especially if you're using like a darker grout. So obviously we're not going too dark. It's not gonna be white, but it's gonna be light gray. We showed you guys the color. But if you're doing like black grout or anything like that, which is pretty trendy, you definitely wanna make sure you're doing a really good job cleaning as you go so it doesn't dry and get all crusty on there. Okay, grouting has started. Got my float, we've got our grout. Just use a little bit, and you want to do small sections at a time and clean it off as you go so you don't get a lot of that like grout dust all over. And I believe the technique taught by my dad, who is a carpenter and home builder for over 40 years, is go at a diagonal. It helps get it in to all the cracks, and you just want to press it in there. And you can obviously go the other way. And sometimes you really got to smush it in there. And I like to try to get it in the cracks and then wipe off as much as I can so I'm not wasting it. And then just keep moving, try to work quickly. It's a good arm workout. I'm a little out of breath over here already.
Yeah, your shoulder's gonna be sore.
Okay, so you get the point. I'm just gonna do a really small section just to show you guys. And really, again, you wanna make sure you're getting all those little cracks.
Oh, it looks so good.
Okay, and then wipe off as much as you can with the float. And then I've got a bucket of water in here and a sponge, which I like this side a lot to kind of get the initial bit of grout off, and then come back with the smoother side. Okay, obviously I'm doing this really quick just for video purposes. Okay, and then I've got my microfiber towel, and you're just gonna do a quick wipe of that, and try not to wipe off too much because you don't want to get the grout out from the cracks, but that just helps get rid of like that dust that can kind of accumulate on the tile. So as you can see, I've got a long way to go, but that's it for this week's video. If you like this, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see the reveal of the shower, be sure to come back next Sunday for next week's video. So we'll see you guys then. Bye! Got a lot to do.